Dear students, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I am Manzur Ahmad, lecturer history. Our today's question for 12th class students of history subject is: what were the main features of subsidiary alliances of Lord Wellesley? Dear students, as we know that the British East India Company ruled over India from 1757 to 1857, and from 1857 to 1947, India was directly ruled by the British Parliament. We need to understand that during its 100 years rule from 1757 to 1857, British East India Company, with the purpose to run its administrative affairs in India, had appointed the highest officer in India as Governor General. So Governor General was the topmost officer of British East India Company in India, and he had all powers with regard to India in his own hands. So several Governor Generals were appointed from time to time by British East India Company to run its administrative affairs in India. And in 1798, Lord Wellesley became the Governor General of India, and he remained the Governor General of India from 1798 to 1805. As we also know, the primary purpose of the rule of the British East India Company was to expand more and more, expand in this British occupation over India, conquer more and more areas of India, and bring them under direct British control. And after bringing them under direct British control, sack these areas economically, this loot the wealth of these areas, and drain out all India's wealth to India. So with the purpose to conquer more and more areas in India, so this Lord Wellesley in 1798 came out with a new policy, and that policy was known as the policy of subsidiary alliances. So in other words, we can say subsidiary alliances was the policy adopted by Lord Wellesley with the purpose to bring more and more Indian areas under the direct British control. These subsidiary alliances had some important features. Let's try to see what are the features of the alliances. The Indian rulers who signed this alliance, this treaty with British East India Company, though Indian rulers were not forced to sign the treaty. It was up to the will of the Indian ruler to sign the treaty or not to sign it. But once they signed the treaty, they had to accept all commandments which were kept in the subsidiary alliances by Lord Wellesley or by the British East India Company. And now any ruler who signed this alliance out of his own will had to accept following conditions, following commandments of the British East India Company or Lord Wellesley. Number one, the ruler who accepted this alliance had to keep a paid British force, keep a contingent of British army in his territory, and pay salary to that army in his area. If the ruler was not able to pay salary to these soldiers of the British who were kept in his area, then he had to give a part of his territory to the British East India Company as his compensation for paying the salary to the soldiers of British East India Company who were stationed in his area. Number one. Number two, the ruler who signed the alliance could not make a treaty or declare a war against any Indian ruler without the permission of British East India Company. Number three, the ruler had to accept British East India Company as his overlords, as his master. Number four, the ruler who signed the alliance was to keep a British resident at his capital in his area. Next, the ruler who signed this alliance could not employ any European service without the approval of the British. If he employed any European service, that should have only been the European from British. No person other than British could be given service under in the area of that ruler. And number seven, the ruler who entered the number next we can say the ruler who entered the alliance was given promise of both protection from internal and external danger. Dear students, we may surprise as to why Indian rulers would get ready to sign this alliance. The Indian rulers at that time in 1798 were feeling threats from neighbors, from one another. There were continuous wars taking place between Indian rulers among themselves at that time. And so there was a lot sense of insecurity among Indian rulers with regard to one another. Therefore, when in this alliance, the British East India Company assured the ruler who signed this alliance, assured the ruler that if the ruler entered the alliance, he would be given protection from all internal and external dangers. So this feature, this feature of the alliance, this prompted the Indian rulers to sign it and get freedom from all insecurities, all problems or attacks from their neighbors or from outside. So a number of Indian rulers signed this alliance. Number 1, the first to come under the Subsidiary alliance and sign it was Nizam of Hyderabad in 1798, as he was afraid of Marathas. Also, he gave the regions of Bellary and Kadapa to the British as his the compensation from him to make the company to pay the salary to the troops that were kept in his area. Number 2, in 1799, Nawab of Surat was given pensions and was brought under subsidiary alliances. Number 3, Nawab of Awadh signed the Treaty of Lucknow in 1801 and accepted subsidiary alliances, and he also gave the areas of Gorakhpur and Rohilkhand to the company. Number 4, after putting Tipu Sultan of Mysore to death in 1799, its ruler Krishna Rao accepted subsidiary alliances and gave Kanara and Coimbatore to British. Number 5, by the Treaty of Basin 1820, Maratha Peshwaji Bajira II accepted the subsidiary alliances. Also, other Maratha chiefs, Sindhia, Bhonsle, Gaikwad, and several Rajput rulers and Raja Travancore accepted the subsidiary alliance as well. Thus, the system of subsidiary alliances adopted by Lord Wellesley for the expansion of British rule in India proved to be the most fruitful weapon, as it not only expanded British Empire in India but also increased the resource of the company. The fact of the matter is that when British East India Company kept these forces in the territories of all these rulers which we mentioned just now, and after some time when these rulers turned weak, they were called incompetent, they turned weak, and when they turned weak, the forces which were kept in their areas were used to occupy their territories easily. And it is said often by the historians that no doubt the Indian rulers were secured, were protected by British East India Company from the dangers from outside or inside. But it is often said that these rulers purchased their security at the cost of their freedom. Thank you.